Have you ever felt this strange frustration? You walk into a room, you see someone you want to talk to, and you think, this time I'll say something interesting. You take a breath, you smile, you say the most normal thing in the world. Hey, how are you? They smile back. They say, I'm fine. And just like that, something disappears. The energy drops. The connection fades. Their eyes start looking past you instead of at you. You can almost feel the moment slip away. And what hurts the most is this. You tried to be friendly. You tried to be confident. You tried to say the right thing. But the harder you try, the less it works. Now here's the strange part. In the same room, another person walks in. They don't say much. They don't perform. They don't try to impress anyone. Yet people lean toward them. They listen. They feel drawn in. It's not because they're funnier. It's not because they're better looking. It's not because they're louder. It's something deeper. Their words have weight. Their silence has power. Their presence feels grounded. They don't chase attention. They attract it. This is what the Stoics understood long before social media, dating apps, and self-help books. Cliff's attraction is not about talking more. It is about needing less. It is not about impressing people. It is about being at peace with yourself. Most people live in performance mode. They fill every silence. They explain too much. They laugh too fast. They speak before they think. They are not present. They are performing. But presence is different. Presence is calm. Presence is slow. Presence is steady. Presence says, I am. Not trying to win you. I am simply here. And that energy changes everything today. You're going to learn 6 simple phrases that come from this Stoic mindset. They're not tricks. They are not manipulation. They're reflections of inner strength. When you use them, people feel safe around you. They feel seen. They feel respected. And when people feel that way, something powerful happens. They remember you, not for what you said, but for how you made them feel. This is the Stoic secret. Say less, mean more, and once you understand this, your conversations will never feel forced again. **** 1. Tell me more about that. These 4 simple words carry more power than most people realize. Most conversations today feel rushed. People are not truly listening. They are waiting for their turn to speak. Someone shares something, and almost immediately, the other person jumps in with advice, a story, or a comparison. Oh yeah, that happened to me too. You should do this. I know exactly how you feel. It sounds helpful, but what it really says is, now let me make this about me. The spotlight quietly shifts back to the speaker's ego. But when you say, tell me more about that, and then stop talking, something rare happens. You create space. You're not trying to impress. You're not trying to fix. You are not trying to win the conversation. You are simply present. And presence is magnetic. Most people in this world are starving to be heard without being corrected, judged, or rushed. When you invite someone to go deeper, you make them feel safe. You tell them, without saying it directly, your experience matters. That feeling stays with them. People don't remember you because you were clever or entertaining. They remember you because they felt understood when they were with you. This phrase is not powerful because it is smart. It is powerful because it makes the other person the center of the moment. In Stoic philosophy, we are taught to control what we can: our reactions, our ego, our need for approval. When you resist the urge to turn the conversation back to yourself, you show emotional strength. You show that you do not need attention to feel valuable. That quiet confidence changes the energy of the room. The other person relaxes. They slow down. They speak more honestly, and something deeper begins to grow. Trust. If you want to gently continue without turning it into an interview, you can add, what happened next? Or what was that like for you? Then return to silence. Let them finish their thoughts. Let them find their own words. Do not rush to fill the gaps, because the truth is, people are not looking for someone to impress them. They are looking for someone who can truly listen. And when you give someone that gift, they naturally want to be around you again. That is why, tell me more about that, is not just a phrase. It is a mindset. 3 simple words. And yet, for most people, they feel impossible to say. We live in a world that rewards confidence, speed, and certainty. From a young age, we are taught that not knowing something makes us look weak, slow, or unimportant. So when someone asks a question and we are unsure, we often pretend. We give a vague answer. We change the subject. We speak in a way that sounds smart, even when we feel lost inside. But pretending has a cost. People feel it. They may not say anything, but trust quietly drops. Something feels off. The connection weakens because the energy is no longer honest. Now, imagine the opposite. Someone is asked a question, and instead of performing, they calmly say, "I don't know." No excuses, no nervous laughter, no long explanation, just clarity. That moment creates something rare - truth. This is not weakness. This is strength. In Stoic philosophy, wisdom begins with recognizing the limits of your knowledge. The ego wants to appear perfect. The Stoic chooses to be real. When you admit you don't know, you show that you are not trying to protect an image. You are not afraid of being seen as human, and that is deeply attractive. People feel safe around someone who does not pretend. They relax. They stop performing too. They know the conversation is real, not a game of appearances of him. You can gently add one more honest line, "But I can learn," or "Can you teach me?" Now you are not below the other person. You are open to growth. You become curious instead of defensive, and something strange happens. People begin to respect you more because confidence is not pretending to know everything. Confidence is being steady enough to admit when you don't. When you stop chasing approval, you gain trust. When you stop performing, people start listening. Idle creates space for real conversation. It removes pressure. It removes ego. It brings you back to the present moment. And in that moment, you are no longer trying to impress. You are simply being honest. That is Stoic power. *3. That sounds hard. When someone shares something painful, stressful, or personal, most people feel uncomfortable. Silence feels awkward. Emotions feel heavy. So they rush to fix the problem. They say things like, "You should try this." When that happened to me, everything happens for a reason. They mean well, but what they really say is, "Your pain is too much for me to sit with." Instead say, "That sounds hard." These 3 words do not solve the problem. They do something far more powerful. They acknowledge the experience. You're not minimizing. You're not judging. You are not rushing them to feel better. You are simply letting their pain exist. And the pause after this sentence is part of the healing. When you stay quiet, you show that you are not afraid of their emotions. You are not trying to escape the moment. You are present. Stoic strength is often misunderstood as coldness, but true Stoic strength is emotional control, not emotional avoidance. It is the ability to stay calm in another person's storm. When someone feels understood, they relax, they breathe, they feel less alone, and people always return to the places where they feel safe to be themselves. If you want to go one step further, you can ask, "Do you want advice, or do you just want me to listen?" That one question can save friendships, relationships, and trust. 4. Silence. Yes, silence is the 4th phrase. Most people fear it. The moment a conversation slows, they panic. They fill the space with nervous words, forced jokes, or random stories. They believe silence means failure. But silence is not empty. It is space, and space is where truth appears. When you allow silence, you show something powerful. I am not desperate for your approval. I am steady. Silence tells the other person that you are not rushing them, not controlling them, and not performing for them. It invites honesty. Try this. The next time you ask someone a question, wait 3 seconds before speaking again. Let the pause stretch. Watch what happens. People often go deeper when they realize they are not being rushed. Someone comfortable with silence does not speak often, but when they do, people listen because silence makes words heavier. The Stoics believed that when you stop running from silence, you stop running from yourself. And when you stop running from yourself, you no longer need to chase others. Silence is not awkward. It is powerful. And in that quiet, your presence becomes magnetic. 5. I appreciate you. These 3 words are deeper than thank you. Thank you is polite, but it often feels transactional. You did something for Mizzo, I respond. But I appreciate you speaks to the person, not just the action. It says, I see you, I value you, you matter. In a world obsessed with productivity, people are constantly measured by what they do, not by who they are. They are praised for results, not for character. So most people quietly wonder if they are enough beyond their usefulness. When you say, I appreciate you, you answer that question. You remind them they are more than their output. This phrase is powerful when it is sincere and specific. Instead of saying it casually, connected to who they are. I appreciate you for being honest. I appreciate you for being reliable. I appreciate you for always showing up. Specific appreciation feels real. It stays with people. Stoicism teaches us to recognize what is within our control. Gratitude is one of those things. When you choose to see the good in others, you also train yourself to see life with clarity instead of complaint. And people are naturally drawn to those who make them feel valued. 6. No, the hardest word to say and the most freeing. Many people say yes out of fear. Fear of disappointing others. Fear of being disliked. Fear of seeming selfish. So they say yes and later feel drained, resentful, and exhausted. But every time you say yes to what does not serve you, you quietly say no to your peace, your growth, and your time. A calm, clear no is not rejection. It is self-respect. Watch someone with strong boundaries. They pause before answering. They consider, and when the answer is no, they say it gently, without excuses, without guilt. No, I can't. No, not this time. That is not coldness. That is clarity. When your no is real, your yes becomes powerful. Stoicism teaches us that we must protect our inner life. Time and energy are not endless. When you guard them wisely, you live with intention instead of regret. Boundaries do not push the right people away. They filter them in. And when you learn to say no with calm strength, people respect you and you finally respect yourself. Asterisks, these 6 phrases are simple, but their impact is profound. Tell me more about that. I don't know. That sounds hard. Silence, I appreciate you. No, they are not tricks. They are not clever lines to impress someone. They are reflections of character, presence, and self-mastery. When you practice them, something remarkable happens. People stop watching your performance. They stop waiting for your act. Instead, they notice who you are. Presence beats performance. Calm beats noise. Honesty beats pretense. When you say less and mean more, you create space. Space for honesty. Space for connection. Space for trust. Space for real human interaction. You no longer chase attention. You attract it. You no longer need approval. You hold your own energy and the people who matter, those who value authenticity, respect boundaries, and appreciate presence, naturally gravitate toward you. Start small. Choose one phrase. Practice it today. Let it feel natural. Let it become part of how you show up in the world. Notice the shift. Notice how people respond differently when you truly listen. When you admit you don't know. When you acknowledge their struggle. When you sit with silence. When you recognize their value. And when you protect your time with a clear no. Write it down. Remind yourself. Repeat it until it stops being a tactic and becomes your presence. Before you speak, take one slow breath and ask, am I trying to be liked or am I trying to be present? That simple question is a Stoic reset. It pulls you out of performance and back into character. One by one, these phrases become habits. And when habits become habits of presence, you will notice it in every conversation, every interaction, every relationship. The world rewards noise. The Stoics teach us to reward calm. The world praises performance. The Stoics teach us to value presence. So go ahead, practice, observe, be present, be steady, be clear, be human, say less, mean more, and watch how everything changes.